talk about some of the crazy stuff that I saw and experienced when I was in psychosis. So when I was in psychosis, I hallucinated that they were trying to take us back in time and take away women's rights. And this was in 2019, before 2020, before COVID hit. I hallucinated it was going to be some type of Handmaid's Tale situation, that they were going to separate older women from younger women, or the usefulness of each woman. For example, women that can't have children or who are getting older or less attractive, they were forced to like be cooks, cleans, nannies, and things like that, forced into labor. And the young women, it was separated between being porn stars or SWs, you know, or being wives and birthing people, being responsible for birthing the babies. I saw a woman unable to have freedom, not being able to go outside without a man, having to cover up, things like that. Rights, like normal rights, being taken away. I saw a lot of men being down low, homosexual. I saw the police as human traffickers, rapists, pedos. I saw them being involved in human trafficking. I also saw them being down low gang members and clear supremacists. I saw apocalyptic conditions, extreme crime that almost looks like The Purge, where women are not even safe to go outside, to the point you can't use a public restroom because you'll get raped. I saw people selling their children. I saw people human trafficking their children. I saw people selling child porn and making their children do porn for money, because famine and thirst and things like that gets so bad, the food shortage gets so bad, the Great Depression and way of life and cost of living gets so bad that these are the things people started resorting to. This was October and November of 2019, by the way. I saw fast food restaurants and restaurants using human meat for meat instead of real meat, because the food shortage and famine gets so bad and there's not enough food, and people actually unaliving other people to eat them. It was almost like a spiritual realm. Psychosis is nothing like acid or shrooms or any hallucinogenic. It's an experience that can't be described, and anyone who ever experienced psychosis, you can chime in. It's like you're still in the world, but it's like you're seeing it through a spiritual lens. Like in my psychosis, I could see people who they were on the inside, kind of on the outside. So a lot of people looked like demons to me. Like a lot of people looked evil and demonic, and it's like I can feel them and see them for who they really were. I saw children as young as 9, 8 years old smoking crack and doing heroin and fentanyl. I also saw them bringing back slavery. I saw people trying to escape the South, particularly Florida, in large amounts, like panicking because we have a lack of farmers and a lack of workers, and they were bringing back forced labor on farms and slavery. And I really did see us, you know, traveling back in time. I saw a lot of things that look like they're coming true now, so that's kind of freaking me out, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring this up, because I was first diagnosed schizoaffective, and then when I had my second psychosis, I drove to the Pentagon to warn them of a terrorist attack on our country. I saw helicopters and bombs flying over, and that they were poisoning all of our food and water. And the second time I was diagnosed bipolar 1 with psychotic features, and they gave me shit like lithium and Haldol. They gave me a stroke with Risperdal. That's why part of my face is crooked. I had to relearn how to read and write at 29 years old, which is kind of crazy, being 29 years old and looking at a crossword puzzle and not being able to understand the words. It took me years to get to this point to even have a conversation with you. I wasn't able to speak. I would just stare at the walls like a zombie. It's like my brain turned off. They turned my brain to mush, essentially. And throughout this time, it was like the only people who were really empathic and caring, and I was able to see them not as demonic, but who helped me get through this, were black women. And this is what I say: listen to black women. Because black women have been saying shit for a really long time, because they've been seeing the world for what it is. They've been seeing what's going on. You know, I saw men abusing their powers and taking children from women and getting away with it. All the stuff that's happening now, and that's going to come. And sure, it may be all delusions and hallucinations, but they did have a team of people studying me for over a month like I was an X-Men mutant. And they did intentionally give me a stroke and try to turn my brain off. And they are trying to ban me on every social media platform. Maybe I'm just crazy and delusional. But the one thing in my psychosis that helped me get through is listening to black women. Black women are going to be the ones that we need to be listening to because they're the ones that's going to help us. We have not been listening to them for a really long time, and now they're like, hate to say I told you so. We need to listen to black women because they know what the fuck they're talking about. And I don't mean to scare anyone, but I just wanted to share my psychosis manic episode experience. And for anyone else who's experienced psychosis and been diagnosed with a mental illness for foreseeing the future or having some type of supernatural ability that they call mental illness, I'm sure some of it is mental illness, but some of it is kind of weird how almost everything I predicted ended up being true. Like, I even saw my friends and family, who I literally have to cut off now, as demonic. Like, my closest friends, my sister, and all those people ended up being narcissists and sociopaths in the long run. Like, I ended up seeing them for who they were. But these psychoses, the first one I had was 2019, and the second one I had was 2021. And now in 2023, all this shit that I saw in 2019 and 2021 is actually happening. But like I said, the only people who helped me in my psychosis and were nice to me and seemed to treat me with empathy were black women. And they were also the ones that helped me get the fuck out the psych ward. They were also the ones that helped me validate that you're not crazy and what you're seeing is true. And a lot of them were going through the same exact thing I was. We need to listen to black women.